Okay, so today we are putting the keys in the ignition, adjusting those oversized mirrors, and hitting the open road. But before we pull out of the driveway, I need you to do something. Take that mental image you have of the great American road trip.
Oh, I know the one.
You know the one, right? The cinematic sunset, wind in your hair, total freedom. And I want you to just kind of set it on fire.
Consider it torched.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are definitely not in a car commercial today.
No, we are not. We're looking at Road Season Volume 1 by Stephen Imke. And honestly, this is not your typical glossy travel guide.
No, not at all.
It doesn't tell you the top 10 Instagram spots. It's a memoir. It's raw. It's gritty. And it is, frankly, hilarious. Because it's what happens when a family trades a sailboat for a 32-foot motorhome and just figures it out.
And that transition is fascinating in itself, right? You've got the Imk family.
Right.
They're sailors.
Right.
They've got a Jeannot sailboat. They're used to the water, the tides, that whole lifestyle. But the catalyst for switching to an RV wasn't some, sudden desire to see cornfields.
No.
It was sheer terror.
Yeah. Let's unpack that setup because it's just wild. They are on a family vacation in Florida on a 46-foot sloop.
Uh-huh.
They're anchored overnight, everything's fine, enjoying the gentle rocking, and then bam, a water spout hits them.
Which is essentially a tornado on water. It's not a little gust.
No, it drags the anchor, it sucks their belongings right out of the companionway, literally vacuums the boat, and slams them onto a sandbar.
Wow.
After that, the wife, Kim, basically says, I'm done with the ocean is trying to kill us, get me some pavement.
I mean, can you blame her? So they pivot, they sell the boat, and buy a 32-foot Cobia Class O motorhome.
Right.
And for the gearheads listening, this is important. It's on a Ford chassis with a 460 engine. And no slide outs.
No slide outs. It's a beast. But they assume, hey, we handle the 46-foot boat. How hard can a house on wheels be?
Famous last words.
And that is the mission of our deep dive today. We are going to explore that steep learning curve, the vanishing culture of the American backroads, and the reality that, travel disasters often make for the best stories. So let's jump right into the maiden voyage. Day 1. They leave Colorado for the East Coast, and immediately, physics humbles them.
Oh, it does. And this is something new RVers, I think, often underestimate. It's not just driving a big car.
No.
It's fluid dynamics. So they're driving to Garden City, Kansas. It's flat, boring, should be easy, right? Wrong. You're getting hit by 40-mile-per-hour crosswinds.
Imke describes it as a sphincter workout, which is just such a vivid image.
It's vivid, but it's physically accurate. You have to understand the physics here. He's driving a rectangular box.
Yeah.
The wind hits the flat side. He corrects the steering.
Okay.
But behind the rear wheels, he's got 160 gallons of water and fuel.
That is over 1,000 pounds of liquid just sloshing around.
Exactly. That's the free surface effect. When he jerks the wheel, that liquid doesn't move instantly. It sloshes. It slams into the side of the tank a second later.
Oh, wow.
So just when he thinks he's corrected the drift, the weight shifts, and the whole RV starts oscillating just violently.
It's the tail wagging the dog, but the dog weighs 10 tons.
Precisely.
And if the drive wasn't stressful enough, they arrive in Garden City, Kansas. Now, for the listeners, Garden City is near where Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz is from.
Which should have been the first red flag.
It really should have. They park the RV. They are exhausted. Imke realizes he forgot the BBQ grill and the pillows on the very first night.
The essentials.
So they're drinking wine, trying to relax on this pillowless bed. And Kim looks west and says, we shouldn't be able to see the Rockies from here, should we?
It wasn't the mountains. It was a wall of clouds. A massive storm hits them. Imke writes that it felt like God hates Kansas and trailer parks.
They're getting rocked back and forth all night. Trees are snapping. It's their first night, and nature is basically hazing them.
Talk about an omen.
Right. But they survive the night, and they decide, okay, we are going to make this a wine tour. They want to visit wineries across the country.
Which sounds lovely until you realize they're trying to find fine wine in, rural Kansas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's this great moment where they try to visit a winery on top of a steep gravel hill. And remember, he is still learning to drive this thing.
Right.
He starts climbing this loose gravel grade, and he can feel the wheels just sinking. He is terrified he's going to get stuck or just slide backward.
And they get up there, risking life and limb.
And the wine is awful.
And expensive. Like $17.99 a bottle for bad Kansas wine.
But what I love is the evolution of their palate. At the start, they're buying these boutique bottles. By the time they hit New York, the road has worn them down.
Oh, yeah.
They are at the Montezuma Winery buying bulk fruit wine stuff like Cranberry Bog and Blue Moon.
Which, as you mentioned, leads to a massive health scare later, but we'll put a pin in that for now.
Let's do that. I want to talk about navigation. Because this book was written when GPS existed, but it wasn't, let's say, reliable.
Yes. The GPS marriage counselor. Or the lack thereof. You have this conflict between the GPS unit, which is confident but totally wrong.
And Kim, who is navigating with a giant paper road atlas.
Exactly. And the GPS leads them into some serious trouble. There is this harrowing incident in Herman, Missouri. They're looking for a winery, and a local tells them, oh, take the bridge, it's scenic. But RVs usually get scared.
And Imke, being the confident captain, says, I've crossed plenty of bridges. He has no idea.
None. They approach this trestle bridge. It's maybe 20 feet wide.
Right.
The RV is 8.5 feet wide, plus the mirror.
And there's oncoming traffic.
Right. So to keep his mirrors from smashing into the steel supports, he has to drive over the center line. He's basically playing chicken with oncoming cars at 5 miles per hour.
And the image of Kim in the passenger seat is just classic. She is physically leaning her whole body into the center of the cabin.
As if her body weight is going to shrink the RV.
Lean in, honey, we'll fit.
It's such a universal human reaction. And then, once they survive the bridge, the so-called scenic route turns out to be this narrow road with no shoulder where they get stuck behind a tractor for hours.
The classic shortcut disaster. But look, we cannot talk about this trip without talking about the real star of the show.
Baron.
Oh,
Baron, the German Shepherd, the agent of chaos.
This dog. Honestly, he sounds like a force of nature. There's the kennel incident.
Oh, physics strikes again. So they put Baron in his kennel on top of the bed while they go wine tasting. They come back. The kennel is gone.
Gone. Like stolen.
No, Baron had rocked the kennel so hard from the inside, generating some serious centrifugal force, that it rolled off the bed. But it didn't just hit the floor.
Oh, no.
It wedged itself upside down between the bed and the wall. So Imke has to rescue this upside-down dog who probably felt like he was in a tumbling dryer.
And then there's the rope burn. This made me wince. They're in Sedalia, Missouri at the state fairgrounds. Imke is holding Baron on a 50-foot rope, trying to let him run. He gets distracted talking to someone.
Rule number 1, never get distracted with a German Shepherd on a long line.
Never. Baron takes off after a toy. The rope wraps around Imke's ankle and just sweeps his legs out from under him. He gets dragged 40 feet through wet grass.
Ouch.
He has a rope burn that plagues him for the entire rest of the trip.
But Baron's biggest issue, really, is his obsession with water. He thinks he's a retriever.
He does. Whether it's Niagara Falls or Swan Lake in Iowa, if there's water, Baron wants in.
The Swan Lake incident is particularly messy. He swims in this stagnant lake water, swallows a bunch of it, and then they get back on the road in Nebraska.
Oh, no. I know where this is going.
Oh, yes. Diarrhea in the RV, frequent emergency stops. It is the unglamorous reality of traveling with pets.
Which leads to a genuinely scary moment on Memorial Day weekend.
The health scare. Right. They're in the Ozarks, miles from a vet. It's a holiday weekend.
And Baron starts peeing blood.
And you can just feel the panic in the writing. They're in the middle of nowhere. They love this dog, and they feel completely hopeless.
What do you even do?
They call a cousin who's a vet tech, who basically says, look, if he's acting fine otherwise, he probably just burst a vessel or has a minor infection. And sure enough, he was fine the next day.
Wow.
But it just highlights that vulnerability of being on the road. You are away from your support systems.
And speaking of vulnerability, let's talk about the mechanical side of things. Because if there's a theme to this book, it's that machines break.
The Road to Nowhere, as Imp titles one of the chapters. And it starts before they even leave for the second trip. They take the RV in for a checkup.
Yeah.
And the shop breaks the timing chain.
They claimed it was spontaneous failure.
Which is just absurd. So Imke and his wife investigate, and they eventually get the shop to admit that an employee used the wrong length bolt on the water pump, which just punched right through and broke the gear.
Unbelievable. But once they're on the road, the breakdowns get even grittier. There's the gas leak in Lusk, Wyoming.
Right. They fill up the tank, and gallons of fuel just start pouring onto the ground. There was a hole in the fill line.
Just watching money and safety hazards pool on the pavement.
But the crown jewel of mechanical disasters has to be what happened to their friends, the Thompsons. They're traveling with them in a fifth-wheel trailer.
And they're in Branson, Missouri.
Branson is a recurring setting for chaos in this book. So the landing gear on the fifth wheel, the legs that hold it up, the drive shaft, just shears off.
So they can't unhitch the trailer from the truck.
Exactly. The truck and the house are permanently mated. They can't drive the truck around for sightseeing because it's got a 30-foot trailer attached to it.
So what do?
You have to rent a car, and all they can find is a rent-a-wreck.
Of course.
A 10-year-old Buick LeSabre. They stuff 8 people, 4 adults, 4 kids into this 5-passenger sedan to go to Silver Dollar City.
It's a clown car situation born of sheer desperation.
And then there are the DIY repairs. Imp discovers a roof leak near the TV antenna. He doesn't have the right tools. He's using a pair of Dykes wire cutters to just chip away the old plastic.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
He buys a replacement part, but it doesn't fit. So he does what any desperate RVer would do. He wraps the old part in electrical tape and hammers it back into the hole.
And it worked.
And it worked. It's that ingenuity born of necessity. You can't just call a landlord. You have to fix it, or you get wet.
I want to shift gears to the environment they're traveling through, because Imk paints a picture of America that is...
Well, it's hot.
Oppressively hot. Especially when they hit Memphis and Nashville. He describes the heat as so thick that when you walk, you leave a wake.
That is a great description. And they go to Graceland, expecting this, majestic experience.
And it's a letdown. It's hot. The RV's AC fails, which requires another jerry-rigged hardwire fix. And the neighborhood around Graceland feels unsafe. They see armed guards.
It just pierces the veil of the tourist trap. It does. But beyond the heat, there is this observation of decline, specifically regarding Route 66.
This is a really poignant part of the memoir.
It is. They're driving along Interstate 44, and they can see the old Route 66 just running parallel to it. And Emick notes the abandoned motels, the decaying concrete.
It's the cost of efficiency, isn't it?
Precisely. The interstate system made travel faster, but it killed the journey. He reflects on how we lost the texture of the road, the weird mom-and-pop diners, the roadside attractions, in exchange for speed.
And the towns that depended on that traffic just withered away.
Yeah, but they do find some of that lingering texture. I love the small-town quirks. In Nebraska, they watch a video of tractors square dancing.
John Deere square dancing. Full-size tractors weaving in and out.
It's mesmerizing and bizarre. And then there's the Bluegrass Festival in Flora, Illinois,
where they mistakenly bring wine to an alcohol-free park.
They have to hide inside the RV with the shades down like criminals.
Oh.
But they go out to listen, and there's this fiddler. He looks like he's asleep. Just slouched over, ancient. But when it's his turn to solo, he lights it up like Charlie Daniels, then immediately goes back to sleep.
You don't see that on a plane ride.
No. And you don't see the contrast of the Bourbon Trail in Kentucky. They stay at Holt's Campground, which is basically a mud pit with a single extension cord.
Charming.
But then they go to these distilleries that are like cathedrals of industry.
And we learned something fascinating about the buildings there. The black mold.
The angel's share. So as bourbon ages, alcohol evaporates from the barrels, and it feeds this specific black fungus that grows on the outside of all the warehouses. It gives everything this gothic, aged look.
But that alcohol vapor is also really dangerous.
Extremely. Imp talks about the history of distillery fires. The Heaven Hill fire, where burning bourbon literally flowed into the creeks. It's this mix of history, chemistry, and real danger.
And speaking of discomfort, let's talk about the human element, the family dynamics, because you can't be trapped in a box with people for weeks without tension.
No way.
Yeah.
And health issues amplify that. We mentioned the wine earlier.
Right.
Well, Kim develops this mysterious leg rash and itching while they are in the Northeast.
They joke that it's Montezuma's revenge from that cheap fruit wine they bought.
But it gets really bad. She's miserable. Finally, in Nebraska, they go to a doctor. Turns out it's a systemic infection. One shot cures it. But they spent a week wondering if it was the water or the wine or allergies.
And then there's the family tension. They're camping with extended family in Missouri, and Kim's sister, Cindy, has a complete meltdown.
Over firecrackers. It's the 4th of July. Cindy is throwing firecrackers into the creek. The kids get upset because it's stunning the fish. Someone asks her to stop, and she just explodes.
A tantrum.
A full-blown tantrum. She packs up and leaves early. It's a reminder that vacations aren't just relaxation. They are pressure cookers. You're tired, you're hot, you're out of your routine.
Personalities clash. But for every meltdown, there's a moment of peace. Ink describes these quiet mornings watching cows in the mist in Cyclone, Missouri. Or the smiley face sunburn.
That's a great image. He put sunscreen on his belly, but sitting in the creek washes some of it off.
Yeah.
He ends up with a sunburn shaped like a smiley face on his stomach.
It's silly, but it's a joyful memory.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Inke's road season, What's the takeaway? I mean, they dealt with broken ACs, diarrhea dogs, bad wine, rental wrecks. Why do it?
I think MK sums it up best when he says the road doesn't change you, it reveals who you are. When you strip away the comforts of home, the reliable plumbing, the routine, you see what you're actually made of.
So it's about resilience.
It is. The trip wasn't about the destinations. Graceland was a bust. The wineries were hit or miss. The real story was how they handled the breakdowns.
It's the shared struggle that creates the bond.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder. In our world today, we're so obsessed with frictionless travel.
Yeah.
Pre-check, direct flights, Uber. We want to avoid the mess.
But is the mess the point?
Exactly. Are we losing the ability to handle the messiness of life? Does the slow road, with its dead armadillos and broken timing chains, offer a texture to life that just flying over it cannot provide?
I think it offers a reminder that we aren't just observers of the world, we're participants. And sometimes participating means getting your hands dirty and your RV stuck in Kansas gravel.
Well, on that note, maybe it is time to plan a road trip. Just maybe remember the pillows and the grill.
And check the timing chain before you leave.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. Drive safe out there.
See you on the road.
Hey, it's Steve, the author of RV Season. Thank you for listening. If you want the full story, the link's in the description below.